Welcome back to No One Is Coming and the Answer Is You, the podcast that is helping you to take ownership of your life. I'm your host, Ofri Fuchs, and today I have a really exciting episode for you because we are diving into the art of your life. Imagine you are Michelangelo and you see this huge rock, and you just know that inside that rock is David calling out for you. So we are going to chisel down your rock. We are going to chisel down your life. We are talking about self-creation, the way we can create the life we want to see inside the canvas, on the canvas, inside that rock. So that being said, let's dive in. In a world where we often find ourselves waiting for someone to come and save us, it's time to embrace one powerful truth. I hate to tell you this, but no one is coming. The answer is you. Welcome to the podcast that empowers you to take charge of your life and unleash your true potential. I'm your host, Ofri Fuchs, and I'm thrilled to embark on this transformative journey with you. So, if you're ready to embark on a journey full of self-discovery, growth, and actually take responsibility for your life, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you're here. Now let's rock and roll. So hello. Well, welcome back. I'm your host, Ofri Fuchs. I am a transformational life coach and a public speaker for the Being Movement. And today we are talking about self-creation, which I kind of think this was a topic that is long overdue. It's kind of the foundation of No One Is Coming. The answer is you. It's all about self-creation. We are the one that are creating our current life, and we are the one that are going to create our future life, the one that I'm helping you create using these little tips and ideas. Hopefully I'm helping you create using these little tips and ideas that I'm bringing forth in the podcast. So today I'm talking about self-creation. And before we dive in on the hows and what to, I want to talk about what is self-creation. It's a subject that is tossed around and thrown around as a very obvious thing. But when we stop to think, what is self-creation? It's actually an intentional act. That's the idea. It comes from versus the victim state, versus I am not in control of my life. This is about understanding that I can be intentional about what it is that I'm creating in my life. It's about shaping who you are and who do you want to be in your life. And it's mostly taking charge. It's taking charge of the narrative. It's taking charge of your thoughts. It's aligning your actions with these thoughts. It's taking charge of your being. I come from the Being Movement, so it's taking charge of the being, which I'll talk about probably next episode. And it's about sculpting. Like I talked about the Michelangelo, the David sculpture. So it's not fate. It's not destiny. It's not a different life. It's not karma. It's not, nothing is a set path. Nothing is set in stone. We are the creators. And I want to share a little story about that on how I actually became a coach. And what happened was that I was sitting one day on the carpet in my living room, and I think I told this story, I don't know if in this place, but I've definitely told this story before. And I was sitting on the carpet, and I was past the age of 40, basically, and I was like, I have nothing to show for myself because because I have these stories about why I was a failure in various things, and I was successful, but I was a failure in my eyes, and nothing I can do would ever amount to anything, and so forth. And on that moment on the carpet, I was like, what if I drop the story? What if I invent myself over? What if I start a do-over? Like there's no history, there's nothing in the past that is preventing me from moving forward and creating, just inventing a whole new self, a whole new identity. What if I just told myself I can versus I can't? And that kind of created that beginning of the spiral, that little snowball effect, that the little butterfly effect that was like, how can I self-create? How can I reinvent myself? And I started to study and learn and take different courses and listen to very smart people that are talking about this topic. And I want to bring this forward to you guys. So the concept of self-creation actually has very deep roots. And I looked it up, and it's actually Aristotle that he spoke about flourishing, and he called it self-actualization. It's about individuals that are aligned with their true self, and that is the highest place. It's the most authentic place you can be. It's the highest frequency known to man today, authenticity. It's about fully functioning in a path that is deliberate, and that's amazing to be. It's basically ownership. You really become the owner of your life, the leader of your life. You're in charge, and it's very liberating. So, how does that even look like? What does that embody? Self-creation. All right, I want to self-create. Now what I do. So first and foremost, I think is about the mindset. Obviously, I'm a life coach. This is what I'll talk about. But the mindset has to be one of a creator versus a victim, versus life is creating my circumstances and I have to react. I take charge and I act. I create. So it starts with the realization that, kind of like no one is coming, the answer is you. Our life is our responsibility, obviously. We stop blaming. We stop blaming any external circumstance, anyone, he said, she said, this happened, my parents did this, my life did this, I was born in the wrong neighborhood, I was wrong with the wrong color, the wrong financial. Nothing is in the external. The growth, the true growth, will happen as soon as we take ownership and say, well, like I say, no one is coming. The answer is you. I'm in charge of my choices and the outcome of my choices. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. So who it is that you've decided and you're saying, no, I haven't decided. This is not who I want to be. All right, that's fine. Knowing that you don't want to be is one thing, but who do you want to be? And for that, we need vision. So this is the first step of creation, right? So yes, there are a lot of artists that just are led by their hand, but most creators, even if you're following an internal guide, there's a vision, there's a thought, there's an idea that came first, and then you acted upon it. There was a vision of what you need to do. So having a clear vision is the first step, and it's essential. It's your GPS. It's your destiny. So even if you don't hit that exactly, if you don't hit the mark, the path that will unfold will take you towards that. And you might be off, you might be very much off, but there's a reason why you chose that vision, and there's a reason why you're walking that path, and that will create who you are destined to become. So I want you to take a moment, if you're listening to this, if you're driving, you don't have to close your eyes, but if you can, close your eyes for a second. And I tell this is actually an exercise I took from Rich Litvin. And I say, well, where would you be if you were to call me 3 years down the line? Where would you be? How would you feel? Who would you be with? What would your day look like? How would you wake up in the morning? What are you wearing? Not like that, but what are you wearing? Okay. What are you driving? What do you see outside your window? Who are you working with? And just have that. What are your hobbies? And just have that as your Northern Star, your set point. And feel that. The feeling is the frequency, and that will guide your reality to where it needs to go. So write it down if you can, feel it if you can, and just keep going back to it. Keep going back to it. That is, to me, the foundation of any self-creation. Just feel where you want to go and trust that you're going in that direction. But the second thing, and I mentioned this before, is the growth mindset. Because we want to grow, we want to evolve, we need to become, if I see myself in a year down the line as a millionaire, I have to be able to grow. If I've never had millions of dollars before, if I've never made $10,000 before, I have to grow in my mindset, and I have to expand my ability to create that kind of financial wealth. It's about developing your intelligence, expanding your capacity to hold a certain space that you want to see in the future and bring it backwards, actually towards the present, but bring it forward towards you as if it's happening right now. So we're using persistence, we're using learning, we're using effort, intentional actions. All that is part of the growth mindset that will expand that space. And no matter what the challenges are, no matter how far it feels, these are opportunity for you to grow, and you have to trust and know that the challenges, the failures, the little stop along the road that you have to take and take a breath, all that is part of the path of you reaching your new desired destination. So that's part of the growth mindset. And it's super important because, again, if you have a vision of something that's super far away, you will have to become a certain person and grow in the process. So breathe into that pain and trust that you're on the path. We know the stories of J.K. Rowling, who got tons of no's, Thomas Edison, who had 1,000 tries before he did the light bulb. These are people that had a vision. They had many, many, many failed attempts, but they kept growing and trying and learning in the process. And Thomas Edison, when he did the light bulb, he didn't say, well, I failed 1,000 times. He said, I just found 999 ways that the light bulb doesn't work. So keep that in mind. Now, the next bit of information that I want to share with you with regard to self-creation is the how-to. So we have the vision. We know we need that. We have the growth mindset. We know we need that. How do we incorporate it in our day-to-day life? So one thing that I like to do is to self-assess. We kind of have to have very truthful look at where we are. So be candid, be truthful, be honest with yourself. When you self-assess, you say, where am I in regards to where I want to be, where I want to go? Again, if I use the $1 million vision that I have, I'm so far away from it. There's no judgment. There's no like, oh, I'm a loser, or this is impossible. I just have to be really truthful. If I want to run a marathon and I've never run like a mile, I have to say, well, I've never run a mile. It's a fact. There's no emotion attached to it. So I have to be truthful and say, well, where am I? And identify. Okay, what is my strength? Where can I improve? What is the area for me to improve on? And this self-awareness, just like a scientist, I always say, we're just exploring, we're examining what we have. We're examining the ingredients. Do we need to buy something else in the grocery store? Or can we use what we have? This is the foundation for the growth that we need to create that vision. So just self-assess. No attachment, no judgment, no criticism. This is what it is. We can use, if you want to make it more easier, you can actually write it down with 4 columns. So one would be the strength, all the things that you're good at, you're strong, that come easy to you. The weaknesses, things that needs improvement, or learning, taking a course, advancing in some way. So those would be strength, weaknesses. And then the third column would be the opportunities. Who can I call? Where can I go? How can I create opportunities? And the fourth one, you can call them threats, you can call them fears. Like, what am I dreading? What is the worst thing that can happen? And we examine that. Like, for a lot of people, the worst thing is embarrassment. That's failure to them. The worst thing, because if I try and I fail, then I'll be embarrassed and people think I'm a loser. Or success. If I succeed, I won't be able to spend time with my kids. That's also a threat. That's a real threat to some people. Or if I succeed, I won't be able to maintain the level of success that I want, and so I'll lose it all, because every time I won something, I lost it immediately. That's a threat. These are real fears that people have with regards to achieving their goals. Like, I want to achieve, but. So we have to look at this. We have to look at it, be honest about it, because then we can understand what are we really facing. That's the assessment. It's called the SWOT analysis. The SWOT, it's strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and the T is for threats. So it could be SWOT or SWOF, fears. The next thing that we do is set clear goals. So we have the vision, that's nice. It's out there in the horizon, we can see it. But we have to break it down. We have to break it down so we can feel that we're advancing. So I'm sure you guys are all, the SMART goals model: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So the SMART model for goals is so we can use something that's very specific, but we can measure, like, let's say I want to have more clients. Did I make 1 to 5 connections every day? I want to create $1 million. Did I market a course? Did I create a course today? Who did I call? Or we can write down, okay, so my goal is to make $500 more this month, and then $1,000 more next month, and then double that every single month. Anything that is specific, that is measurable, that is achievable to you. Like, if I do this, then that will be the outcome. Okay, that is relevant for you, for your vision, and that is time bound. Like, I want to do that in the next week, in the next month, in the next 3 months, and so forth. So that you can measure your progress. And once you start doing that, it's so easy to really track your success. Or if you're off and it doesn't happen, then you're like, okay, what do I need to change in order for that to happen? So we had the vision, we had the mindset, we're starting to grow into that vision using specific goals. But sometimes we can have the goal, but we don't have the habit to support it. So we need to develop new habits. For instance, me, I can state for myself that I have a lot on my plate. Like, there's a lot of things I want to do. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate. It's not that I procrastinate. It's almost like a attention disorder. Like, I want to do something that is really important for my profession, for my career, for my clients, but then I get distracted with, I'm just going to put up this post because in my head that's important, that gets marketing, but it's not really. Like, if I connect to someone, that is way more attainable. That is that takes me to such a closer place than post a general post and hope that somebody will contact me. Listen to this as this is about you. And what are the new habits that you have to develop? And a lot of times we give the example of a workout, a gym. If you want to lose 10 pounds, then you will have to develop the habit of going to the gym or going for a run or doing the treadmill 10 minutes a day. Any 1 or 2 habits that can help you move towards your goal and then your vision. And the way to do it is to stack the habits. So I know of a story, I don't remember who it was, but a guy that really wanted to go to the gym. And he was so far from losing the weight, and he hated going to the gym. So he would start by putting on his sneakers, and then as funny as it may sound, but then taking them off. Like, literally, that would be his first step. And then putting on the sneakers and setting his gym bag. And then putting the gym bag in his car, putting the sneakers in his car so he doesn't have to go home after work. And then he has to go to the gym. And then he left the gym. He just came in and left. And the following day he came in and, I'm just going to be here for 10 minutes. And that created stacking. That created a level of comfort, him in his sneakers, in his gym sports, in the gym specifically. People started to see him, started to say hi. He started feeling comfortable in that area. And then he got on one machine and then the next, and then he just ended up stacking his successes and developing a new habit of going every day to the gym and starting to lose the pounds. So just do that. Stack small baby steps so you can move forward. Another thing that we do, and I'm a huge fan, you can't see my computer, but I have like 20 tabs open, I think even more, with so much learning, information, and knowledge, and people I follow, and classes that I take. Seek out knowledge, skills, people, information. Invest in expanding your mind. So learn, invest in learning. And it doesn't have to be reading books. It could be audiobooks, of course, but it could be taking courses. It could be listening to webinars. It could be finding a mentor, finding a coach. Hey, I'm here if you need me. Just keep expanding and keep seeking ways for you to develop. And also surround yourself with people that do the same. So they will create that impact, that influence, and you'll start modeling that type of people. So I'm not going to tell you where. I don't know what it is that you want to, what your vision is, but find the place for your resources. It could be online. It could be in a course, like a live course. It could be a talk. It could be a movie. Anything that will help you grow and get practical strategies, tools, inspiration for whatever it is that you want to create. The last thing with regards to this is with regards to the how-tos is reflection. So at first we needed to assess where it is that I'm standing and what it is that I want to create. But then every time we move forward, we have to kind of look back and say, how am I doing so far? Like, how am I doing in the past week? How did I do in the last month, in the last 3 months? And we have to reflect and adjust. I kind of said that in the stacking habits or in the growth mindset. If I'm not moving as fast or as close to where I want it to go, I can always adjust. I can always shift. I can always change lanes in a way. So regularly check in, do a regular check-in, see where you're at, see how far you've come, see how far you are from where you want to go. You can do that through journaling. You can do that with an Excel, whatever it is that you're working with to help you kind of look inward. You can do that through meditation. You can do that talking to a coach and just assessing where you are, but keep reflecting and adjusting if you need to. So this is all rosy, but then sometimes we hit obstacles, right? Sometimes it doesn't go so easily. So I want to talk a little bit about the challenges that we might face once we're moving forward. One of them, and I said this in the very beginning, is the fear of failure. There's a fear of failure, there's a fear of success. We have to realize when it comes to failure, you will fail. Sorry. It's just a part of any self-creation. You want to create a kid from not riding a bicycle to riding a bicycle. You will put that kid down and say, hey, honey, hey, love, hey, my darling, you will fall. This will happen. Okay? And we're not scared of it. As parents, we're not scared of it because we know it's part of getting your balance and making that a habit of success riding a bicycle. So we have to embrace it. We have to embrace that as a stepping stone into wherever that it is that we want to go. So it's not the definite outcome. It's just a step in the way. So don't look at failure as your feedback to whether or not you need to go to where. If you want to go where you want to go, then you need to go to where you want to go. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in your head. Just remember that. You wouldn't have that desire unless you were meant to go there. So keep that in mind next time you fail. And next time you fail, keep asking yourself, what did I learn from this, right? Failures are always learning opportunities, growing opportunities. Let's talk about self-doubt, because that's a big one, right? I'm not good enough. This is not for me. This is other people's stuff. It can be crippling. It's paralyzing. Like, I can't do this. This is not for me. You have to go back and counter it and make sure you think back of your successes. Remind yourself of any other opportunity that you had self-doubt and you pushed yourself forward and you succeeded. A person that I know, I won't say who, a person that I know had this interview and they were really, really, really nervous. They passed the interview with flying colors. It was so like no-brainer. It was just like a get to know you kind of thing, and they're amazing and they're super fun to be with, and it was very clear to me that they will pass it with flying colors. And I had to remind them, I'm like, do you remember every time you go through an interview or a public talk with people, you feel judged, you feel looked at, you feel looked down upon, and every time people love you. Like, remind yourself, like, you're nervous every time, and every time you're like, oh, it was easy, it was so much fun, I loved it. Just look back and everything that you've done with pink glasses. Always look at the bright side of whatever it is that you went through and remind yourself to strengthen yourself. And if you need to, there's always affirmations, right? Use those, take some affirmations, use the document, we'll talk about it next time, as your toolkit to strengthen you, to reinforce you for your positive self-image. One more thing that can sometimes be a little challenging, it depends on who you are, what your background is, how much you tend to be influenced by external pressure. So this could be your family, it could be your spouse, it could be your peers, your colleagues, things you see in the media, social media. There's an external noise that is making us compare. And we can't compare apples and oranges. We are who we are. We don't need to compare. Stay true to you. Stay true to who you are. Stay true to your vision. Their path is their path. Like, this is just something that we need to drop altogether. And in order for us to do that, we have to center ourselves and create boundaries for us, because we're the one that are doing this. We're the one that are looking outwards. So whenever I get to that mindset of, oh, they're better than me, I set the boundaries. It's not about them comparing themselves to me. I'm the one doing this. So I have to set boundaries for myself and say, hey, you know what, Ofri, you have to chill and stop doing that. Enough with this. I have to stop my mind. It's setting boundaries for your mind not to go there, because it'll just take away from you aligning with your goals. So stop it. Remember that. Stop it. And on the flip side is keep encouraging yourself. Keep motivating yourself. Keep reminding yourself of why it is that you want to do what you want to do. Keep your reason why. Bring it back to life. Every time you envision it, feel it in your bones, how it will feel once you get it, once you achieve it. Just fall in love with it. Fall in love with your vision. Fall in love with your why. They say, like, the best part of planning a vacation is just the planning part. Sometimes the vacation is a flop, but you have all these dreams about how it's going to be, and all that just sends all these beautiful hormones in your body, and you get so excited and passionate, and you're so much fun to be around because you have this thing that you're looking forward to, and you're planning and you're creating it in your mind, in your heart. So it might not be perfectly aligned with what you planned, but you've been perfect all along while you planned it. So just keep that in mind. So there was a lot of information in this one because self-creation, self-realization is, to me, really the foundation of everything that we want to do in life. It doesn't matter if you want to talk about your relationship, your career, your finances, your parenting, your self-worth, your body image. All that is self-creation. We are creating who we are in the world, and we're creating it on a spiritual mindset level first, and then we're creating the physical outcomes in the real world. So it's an ongoing process as long as you're alive. Hopefully, it's an ongoing process, and it's an ongoing progress as long as you're alive. Hopefully. Because if you keep that in mind, that we want to create ourselves every day anew. I want to create my relationship with my kids every day anew. I want to create my relationship with my partner every day. I want to create my success, my business every day anew. Then it's consistent. It's intentional. I don't fall asleep while I'm living my life, because that will automatically throw me into the victim state. Oh, life is happening to me and not for me, like Tony Robbins says. So it doesn't matter if you're just starting out and exploring this, or you're already down the path of self-creation. This is always a good reminder for you to go back in vision, growth mindset, all the tools that I gave you today. Embrace them, because as you know, no one is coming. The answer is you. And if you want to create a certain life for you, who's going to do it for you? That's right, no one. So starting today, take the first step towards that vision, towards that goal. If you need my help, I'm always here for you. I'll be happy. Reach out, and I'll be happy to jump on a call and help you be the best version of you that you can be. So I want to thank you for tuning in wherever you may be, and wishing you the most amazing, incredible life you can create for yourself. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.